Last time in the StrangerVille Rotational, we were with the eclectic arts household. While Mark and Leslie instigated a romance, Alice investigated a mystery. Leslie was possessed, and the source of that infection seemed to be coming from the secret lab in the crater. After managing to open the door that would allow her to investigate deeper into the lab, Alice mysteriously died in a fire that never should have harmed her. Our next household is the Sigworths. Dylan Sigworth is a nerd brain and a stay-at-home dad. He currently has skills in cooking and gardening and is a genius bookworm and perfectionist. Since Alice opened the door to the secret lab, he has mysteriously become infected as well, just like Leslie. The first thing I did was give him a college degree, since I believe that he would have had one as a knowledge sim. I ultimately gave him a degree in computer science from Brightchester, since clearly he wasn't good enough to have gained any skill points in the subject, and earned the more distinguished degree from Foxbury. Jess Sigworth is outgoing, family-oriented, and active. She is a lacking corporal in the military career and hasn't gone to college. Her aspiration is to have a successful lineage, and she is also infected. Her daughter Christy is immensely creative, but is an active child like her mom. Since I usually switch households in the night or early morning, I send Dylan and Christy to bed immediately. Jess, however, took an early morning jog. It was a beautiful morning in Strangerville, with the pink-violet spores heavy in the air, the sky aurora green, and every single person wandering around with the stiff-legged stumble of the possessed. It's almost as if Jess should care. But she doesn't, more concerned with advancing her career and making sure her daughter has everything she could want. Although the family has a large amount of funds after their move to Strangerville, Jess put half of it into Christy's piggy bank to serve as her college fund, just in case. Christy's active trait defines her as an adventure sim using my gameplay rules, which can be found on my website, www.witchlingsimmer.com. And adventurous Christy is. Are there any collectibles in here? A void critter card? Anything? She wondered as she dug through the family's rubbish bin that morning. Dylan fixed the family a nutritious breakfast before heading outside to play with his new telescope, as I quickly placed a number of items I'd forgotten to place before. The family socialized over food, content to ignore the mess going on outside, safe in the little bubble of their family and home. The military and the mayor would protect them, right? Dylan, however, had the thought that now that Christy was in school, perhaps he should get a job. If a sim doesn't have a job, I will form a bank of jobs available to them based on their traits and whatever college degree they might have, as well as any interests that they have that might apply to their job search. I will then roll to decide which job they get. Dylan rolled the astronaut career, which is perfect for him. Since Dylan had the whim to get focused and he needs to play chess for his career, I purchased the family a chess table for all their gaming desires. After that, the family spent most of the day indulging in some wholesome activities, skill gains, and bonding. Even though the strangeness of Strangerville was creeping ever so gently into their house, through vines in their sink, everything seemed fine for the most part, as long as they kept their heads down and their eyes shut. Jess and Dylan decided to have a quiet conversation in the kitchen while Christy amused herself. Now that we're settled in the house, suggested Jess, maybe it's time for another baby? That's a great idea, said Dylan. Spores? She who is beauty? Never heard of that nonsense. Christy was up late that evening, drawing quietly at her table when she heard her mother get up. The doors opened and closed, and her parents walked out with the uneven strut of the possessed. What is happening? She wondered as she tried to interact with her parents, only for the game to refuse to let her. Lacking any other recourse, and with no way to call an emergency hotline for help, Christy headed to bed for the evening as her parents wandered the streets. Everyone headed to work and school the next day as if nothing had happened, but Christy hadn't forgotten. She asked her best friend, Teddy Roswell, to come and see her after school, and they talked about the town. I've heard that there's a secret lab in the crater, he mused. I wonder if that's why your parents are acting crazy. You know, my mom's doing the same thing. What is wrong with these adults? I have to get home, but let's talk about it later. "Ah, yeah, new boo!" shouted Jess happily once she got home from work that day. While Dylan and Christy worked on skills and homework, Jess got a bit of a makeover to support her growing baby, which may or may not be a plant, since I can't recall whether the infection can be passed on genetically. The baby definitely shocked her newly possessed self that evening when Jess immediately became nauseated before heading out for her nightly zombie patrol. Teddy asked Christy over after school the next day when Teddy suggested going to the library, which would be a great idea if Christy knew what she was collecting evidence about. She was going to have to go to that crater as soon as she got her full fast-traveling privileges from her parents. Back at home, Dylan was promoted to module cleaner, and the skill gains resumed for the adults in the household, who seemed mostly concerned about fitness and rocket science and not their time as a grinning goon every evening. Jess was getting promotions as well, presumably due to her ability to ignore the spores outside. During one school day, Dylan got the notification that Christy spent most of recess trying to kiss some of the other students. Too young for kissing. She must nearly be a teenager. My baby is growing up, said Dylan tearfully. Thursday was Harvest Fest, so the family ate a delicious breakfast and watched sports together, which as a family of extremely active people was one of their favorite activities. That evening, Jess went into labor and she had a girl. After due deliberation on how Christy is fairly close to Christina, I decided to name their daughter Brittany. Little Brittany Sigworth came to the house immediately smelly and also with an inborn glitch, since Bianchen's live draggable bassinet mod had stopped working with the latest update. I removed the mod, which may have led to a new baby spawning. Is Brittany the real Brittany or a changeling Brittany? Only time will tell. Christy was overjoyed that she had a new sibling, since this is an extremely close-knit family. So as her parents left for their nightly possession, Christy tried to quiet the baby as much as she could, to no avail. For the next couple of sim days, her parents would leave a crying baby in the middle of the night while Christy tried to do the best that she could. Saturday was Christy's 13th birthday and Brittany's 2nd birthday. Brittany, or faux Brittany, who is this changeling child, aged into a toddler with a fondness for red, while Christy aged into an active, jealous teenager. As an adventure sim, I allowed her to have the alluring trait, since adventure and spontaneity can be attractive. I then changed her aspiration to the StrangerVille mystery after she gained her bonus trait, since otherwise she is going to be changing diapers for her entire teenhood. Christy was hit hard by the sim team's tendency for a while of making very strange-looking children with giant heads and ears. I adjusted her proportions to make her look less like a gnome and more like a young lady. As an active sim, she has a sporty style. Her favorite colors are white, purple, and pink, and since she was so feminine as a child, I kept that touch to some of her outfits as well. "We've got to fix what's going on with the adults," Christy complained to Teddy as soon as she finished in CAS. "When is your age up?" "My household is the next one that the Watcher plays," Teddy explained, "so it'll be a while. Maybe I'll see if I can investigate this secret lab even as a child. It's not like my mom is paying much attention with all of her zombieing around, and unlike you, I won't have a toddler sibling." "You never know. Risky woohoo's on." You know what? Never mind. We'll talk about that when you're a teen too." As her round began, so it ended. Jess headed out for a jog, trying to turn a blind eye to the smoke over the crater, the lights, the mysterious glow cloud, all hail, and the spores that filled the air. That night, little Brittany woke Christy up since she was feeling sad. Dylan came in to check on them, only to start jerking around and grumbling, yelling, "Our mother dressed in beauty," to a confused Christy, which led Brittany to cry and Christy to try to snap Dylan out of it. "You guys have got to stop ignoring this stuff. What about me and Brittany? It's not just going to go away." Dylan smiled, but he didn't say anything, eyes still a little vacant from his possession. Christy ignored him to play with Brittany. Clearly, she wasn't going to get through to him right now. As they decorated the tree for decoration day, Christy plotted. She and Teddy would have to save Strangerville themselves. As much as she loved her parents, she couldn't trust them right now. If you like this episode, please comment, like, and subscribe. Next episode is Teddy and Allison June Roswell, the grandson and daughter of Meredith and Ted Roswell. Episodes for the StrangerVille Rotational are out most Fridays, and my Solar System Legacy has new episodes on most Tuesdays. If you're interested in my gameplay rules or the rules for the 100 Baby Rags to Legacy Challenge, please visit my website. The link is in the description box below. Hopefully coming soon will be a complete mods list as well. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye!